Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is September 15th, 2025, and I'm back with another break time message. I hope you're doing well. So there's a masculine here talking about a transformation. The curator still refers to this powerful feminine as though she is an appetizer for his black hole soul. They want to feed on her. It seems to be something going on with religion that has these nefarious ones upset. Someone is questioning your political stance or views. Something that thick? Someone exclaimed. These masculines are talking about a cathedral. Apparently, there has been talk of, in some dimensional reality or realm, that there's a cathedral dedicated to this new venerated feminine, this divine feminine, the mother who has risen. So there's like a cathedral and people are actually praising her. They seem to be real upset about this, and so they're doing their best to do damage control with whatever it is, because they have cathedrals of their own, I think, that they have to try to salvage. One of these masculines are talking about an operation. Could be a surgery or a strategic military type plan. There's something about lockdown. And someone said, my condolences. These are all masculines speaking. So I don't know if there's a country out there that's on lockdown right now, or a specific group of people that are on lockdown. Please take that as it resonates. They're discussing someone who is 62 years old, and they're discussing an age difference between that one and somebody else. It's as though they want to copycat a feminine, and they're looking for a puppet that will do their bidding if they place them in this position. They want to sexually traffic the original energy. They want to bring it great suffering and degradation. They want to defile it thoroughly. Another one is talking about exercise. They like the young, firm body for their pleasure. The curator is trying to convince whoever this is that he's talking to that the original is an appetizer and that he owns her and her energy. She doesn't even know who this person is. He's targeting an innocent person who hasn't done a damn thing, because she's got a powerful light energy and gifts closely connected to source, and he wants to take her out because he sees her as a challenger, a threat. He's trying to convince someone who he feels has an authority that he should buck the system and go against spiritual and universal law or the spiritual judgment regarding his target's life. It's like this curator has lost his authority and his ability to throw people into this lake of fire. It's like he's talking to a greater authority, a member of the forces that support him or his organization. He's trying to convince them that this woman belongs in the lake of fire, or to be fodder for this beast that he is in service to. He's accusing this divine feminine of being demonic, protected by something demonic. They don't worship the same God that the chosen ones do. He's desperate to lay his own persona onto her, to project onto her and have her punished for his own mindset and practices of tormenting and torturing humanity, feeding on them. Now, there's a group of folks that are saying she died and she was resurrected. She was led back into an ascension by God. And this curator is so pissed that his sacrifice didn't work. He's angry at God. This group of folks is talking about an existential crisis, which is a profound self-reflection and questioning about the meaning of life, purpose, and one's place in the world, often accompanied by anxiety or dread. Then we got somebody out there saying, "Do it for America, the United States of America." So they want to evict this woman because they feel that her rise into some sort of position as the Divine Mother, that these masculines who love each other, they despise women, will lose their America, their home. It's not their home anyway. They stole it from this person long, long ago when they first unalived her in a sacrificial ritual and trapped her with this demonic layering. So they're urging somebody to commit a crime. It sounded like somebody mentioned research, like salads and dips and stuff, or something else. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. It sounded like a younger masculine was complaining that something isn't fair. It's not fair. They're talking about somebody getting into a car accident. "I never had one before," a masculine stated. "A bit bigger too," somebody stated. Never had one before. Maybe they never had a woman before. They've been spying on her. She's a bit bigger than her astral self. Really got to be careful out there if you're thinking about being intimate with anybody. You got these masculines who love their women that don't have vaginas, okay? They like their women without vaginas. You got to be careful because they need to trap the feminine, the divine feminine, because the divine feminine has the womb, which creates life, and that's the energy that they feed on. That's the power that gives them their authority. And it's not fair. So, stalker alert, they didn't think you or something would be as large as you are. I really feel that this is a comparison between your astral self and your physical self. These guys like to play in the realms. There's something about mother being a transvestite. So these ones get a contract, a marriage contract with a divine feminine who has gifts and spiritual wealth. Then they flip her into South Node. They strip her of her happiness and her stability. And then they replace her with their doppelganger, their copycat, without a vagina. And then they siphon off of her trapped energy. They dress up in her energy, they tap into her mind, they steal her messaging, and they pretend that it's them. While they cover her in the blame and the shame of their perversions and their disgusting blood rituals and all this other crap that they do because they hate the divine feminine. I've seen them in these other realms, these men in dresses prostituting the young virgin girls. Apparently, this is a family tradition. This curator one time said that his duty or his job was to bring together trans families while sacrificing and harvesting the actual divine feminine, replacing her, using or possessing or claiming her energy and gifts as their own. There's something about Eastern Star. I was thinking, Bethlehem and all those, whatever. Anyway, I Googled it, and it's the largest Masonic affiliated fraternal organization open to both men and women, dedicated to moral and spiritual development. Except that they're backwards. They're upside down and inside out. Their central symbol is the 5-pointed star. It's the family of Freemasonry. The curator is trying to convince whoever this authority is that he is speaking to that he has the rights to this feminine. He took a gamble. He fumbled her. She has already been enfolded into, welcomed into a new family. A whole nother story. And these ones have been talking about trying to nullify that union so that they can remove her protection and claim her. Force her into a failure and entrapment where she is nothing more than an energetic food supply. And he's asking for help to do so. The Most High God has stated that this is the end of their relationships with batteries. I don't see this happening for him. The Divine Mother said to be prepared that they won't survive. They're going to try to take her from this family. Again, they're talking about her needing medicine as though she doesn't, as if she doesn't get the meds, then her temple will fail, and therefore her life isn't really natural. He's using this as an excuse to try to hold on to his claim of her. So, you know, he thinks that he should be able to obtain her, no problems. He poisoned her flesh temple, poisoned everybody through the food, the water, and the air, causing them to need sick care with these synthetic medicines that actually poison and toxify the body further. Apparently she chose adaptogens or something, and he's really upset about this because she's doing a good job and he's not able to defeat her. So they do not own the energy of the spirit or the soul that flesh temple is housing. He thinks because he owns the flesh temple that he also owns the spirit and the soul belonging to a star system, not of this world. Apparently, they were told that they have to have a relationship, but they don't have one. They've lost her. They've fumbled her. She's free. She's already united, confirmed, and consummated with another family. She is free of the burden of these ones. And yet their authority and their power and their ability came from her energy and her intellectual property, her gifts, her power. She is a soprano, an upper dimensional divine being who came here to assist humanity, and these ones did their forbidden magic to trap her so that they could feed on her and claim her energy and her gifts as their own. Without her, they are nothing, and they're angry. They want to take her away from this other family. But they have to have a relationship. So they want to lure her away with a gigolo or Jezebel. And they want to gain her permission, her consent to tamper in her energy. They want to lure her away from her spiritual kingdom spouse and family. Her light is very bright. So bright that these needless feeders posing as men call her demonic. It was an initiation process, a level 44 life path, impossible path that they had her on. She was not supposed to make it out. They were certain of it, and that's why they didn't really pay much attention to it. She's psychic. She graduated this initiation. You see, at the time, they thought that when she rose, or they didn't feel that she would, they figured that they would step right in and say that they're the ones who graduated the path and take the blessing. But she rose up and shined brightly, and they're so mad because they fumbled her. They took a gamble and they fumbled her. She got free. And she's got protection right now, and they're furious with God. They want her prize for graduating the impossible life path that they put her on. They have been cheating. They have been placing people on the impossible path and then claiming their gift for the suffering of it. But she did not fail. She actually made it. They thought certain she was going to be trapped for an eternity under these impossible circumstances, but she's not. So they're super angry. They're furious. They're powerless. They're furious. They've been discredited and disgraced because that which gave them the authority was her, and she's free now, and everybody knows that they were using her and her energy signature to create havoc in the world, to destroy the potential of others. There's something about 50 miles an hour. There's something about a trumpet. Perhaps one has been sounded. There is someone who is religious who is trying to smoke. I don't know what they're trying to smoke, but they're saying, and all of a sudden the energy came. So I don't know what they were smoking. What are they doing? Are they smoking crack or meth or something? They're trying to say that this woman's energy isn't natural. They're trying to say that the adaptogens that she utilizes to overcome or to bring homeostasis to a toxic environment within her body and within her environment is not natural or fair. They think she should just be poisoned and then, try to operate from that position. So these ones are very concerned because whatever she's doing, she's activating the receptors in her cellular structure that is enlivening and empowering even greater energy and light in her body. They're really upset. They want to challenge her with this energy. Whoever this religious person is and whatever they're smoking, it's bringing them energy. Now, whether it is that lower vibrational drug energy or whether it is a higher vibrational plant energy, I just don't know. So these ones with the toxic environment, the food, the water, the air, everything's poisoned or it's got ingredients in it that you have no idea what they are. And they may not even list everything. I mean, we've got bioengineered product, but we have no idea what that is. It's all in the food. Spirit Divine said that the food supply was tainted. It's like they're trying to discover the causes of energy flow so that they can counter it and then stop it in the civilization or the civilian population. They don't want your average bear becoming a light-filled powerhouse. They want them in survival mode, in the root chakra, stuck in this lust-filled, suffering, not good enough energy. They want the good energy, and they want the individual that produces the energy to be sick. And suffering mentally. So they may be stepping up the game a little bit on trying to outlaw plant medicine. This has been an ongoing thing throughout time with them. They don't want people receiving health care. They want people sick and toxified, and then they want their symptoms to be managed with sick care. Synthetic, make you sicker care. There's a masculine talking about somebody struggling. And it sounded like another masculine said, butcher together. So it's like there's a double unaliving. I don't know. There could be a team, a partner out there, a partnership that is experiencing some kind of black magic backfire. There's something about defenses They might be talking about this woman who they want to claim. They fumbled her and they want to claim her again. And she's got this protection. She's wed, spiritually at least, to a masculine and protected by his family. So it's like they want to do both of them at the same time, but they have some kind of defenses. There's talk about a twist. So apparently when these people first obtained this feminine, they twisted her. They did something to twist her. They wanted to violate her so bad, and they did. They gave her a twist, which changed her somehow. Made her a little more beastly somehow. They're talking about genetics. There's something about a Puerto Rican. And they're saying again that she has to be innocent. She has to be strong enough. It's like if she's not strong enough, if they dedicate themselves into a ritual with her and she's not strong enough to hold the sin or the black energy of them, that they will all fall into this pit. So they're very concerned over having a proper sacrifice in order to gain their authority back. There's something about the Bible and the desert, how it was exploited. They exploited the story of the Bible and the desert. So here's the thing. Let me see this. They exploit. To exploit something is to use an entity or a person unfairly to gain an advantage. Now, these ones, I don't believe it was Moses. To be quite honest with you, I believe there was a divine feminine who came in and helped these people get out of the grip of Egypt. And they promised to care for her, to cherish her, to protect her. And instead, they sacrificed her and then laid all of their sin on her. Now, when I Googled this, these people were at level 49 South Node, evil. And she came to lift them up. She's a very high dimensional, high vibrational, soprano, angelic goddess energy. And they sacrificed her and then stood upon her. And it wasn't just her. Yeshua or Yahashua, whoever it was, apparently they sacrificed him and then put the weight of the world on him also while they prostituted this woman's energy. Both of them made it through this impossible path, and they're back together now, and they're so furious about it. They made up a story about the Bible and the desert, and then they sacrificed the woman that made it possible, and they erased her from their story. They're talking about a woman who is 72 years of age. They have mentioned her before, a few different occasions. There's something about an F-60 run. Now, of course, I was thinking about those big Ford trucks, right? But then I Googled it. F-60 can refer to the classification within the International Classification of Diseases for specific personality disorders. It is a general category that includes various specific personality disorders, such as paranoid, F60.0, schizoid, F60.1, antisocial, F60.2, borderline, F60.3, and obsessive compulsive, F60.5 personality disorders. So they want to do a 760 run. They want to run a program in these vulnerable mental bodies. They can tap into that frequency of that medication and then run a program through their mind. So they could be planning some vast disturbances causing chaos. But then they said KILL her. So they're going to try to run a mental program through an unstable mind to get somebody to commit a crime and unalive this woman. They're talking about a leper colony. I heard several months ago something about rapists getting leprosy of the phallus. I don't know if this is a thing, but they're mentioning a leper colony. Maybe they're so pissed off at her about that. I don't know. But, you know, rapists of children certainly should not have an appendage if they're going to use it as a weapon of war against innocence and purity. The curator is saying, that's perfectly fine with me. So they're going to run an F-60 on a mentally incapacitated or vulnerable person, and they're going to run a program through that mind, and they're going to try to get them to kill this woman. So be aware. They have a plan to remove this woman from life, from her ability to be an influence in the world. They want to stop her authority, stop her rise. They want to regain her energy and her gifts and their status. They need her energy in order to climb back up through that rank, because she was the one who knocked them off of their damn pedestal. And they're real mad about it. So he's making a threat. He is swearing to God that if things don't go the way he likes, he is going to sacrifice every one of the chosen ones. He's going to create fear among them to find a Judas. Do they want just this one woman to be sacrificed, or do they want all of themselves to go down for this? And I think that this may have been a topic of conversation in the past, and these ones chose to sacrifice the woman and then to lay all of their sin and burden onto her while drawing forth from her gifts, to force her to carry the blame and the shame of their perversion and their putrid, vile hatred of life as they destroyed it, while drawing forth of her gifts and her abilities, her energetic power, which she uses to help people, but which they use to destroy people. So if one of these chosen ones, or some, choose to be a Judas, then just know that if you hand over this woman who was able to be a catalyst for change so that you could have the opportunity to get out from underneath the rule of this entity, He will have you again and everything that you are. And you will have betrayed God, who has placed her in this position. They sacrificed her. She was resurrected. She was led back into ascension by the Most High God. And now this guy wants to put the fear of whatever God he worships into them and say he's gonna sacrifice all of them if they don't turn her in, if they don't betray God. So this is where we're at. There's something about opposition. He wants to eliminate the opposition. And the way that they do that is to feed fear into the minds of people, and then get them to make decisions in their life based on fear. There's conversation about how they ghosted her. They took everything from her and then gave her nothing but vile, putrid, perverted, skanky, degraded bullshit. Death energy to transmute. They were taking her life energy and forcing her to transmute their death energy so that they could prolong their own lives. They used her energy signature to hurt the people that she loves. They had lots of copycats wearing masks out there doing blood rituals and terror experiences, ruining people's material wealth, hurting their pets, wearing a mask and her energy. They had convinced everybody that she was a horrible person, but it wasn't the case at all. It was this curator and his chosen ones doing the deed. Transferring their sin onto her. They violated her, a masculine said, or he admitted. It was purposeful, he said. There's something about a dietitian. They were talking about a medicine woman the other day. So it's like there's changes being made to the food pyramid and to the health industry. It's like this woman wants health care. She wants the food pyramid and all of the food supply to be reformatted without poison. She wants the people to be healthy, to shine their light, to climb up out of this sickness that they've been covering everybody in, this poison, this toxin. They want to contain and obtain her energy, to feed on it, to fuel their illusions and their magic and their authority over others. If the chosen ones give her up, then they give up on themselves. The curator is using his most sweet, holy, and logical voice. He sounds holy, but he's got a vile heart full of malice. He's very vengeful, very greedy, sick, and twisted. They're looking at something they're calling incriminating evidence. So whether there's incriminating evidence against them, I mean, what I have heard them speaking of is incriminating evidence. It's a plot, a plan to obtain, to make suffer this beautiful divine being that they trapped long, long ago, thousands of years ago, who is here with another being that they trapped long, long ago, thousands of years ago. They vilified both of them using both of their energies to cast the illusions and the lies within and drive it into the minds of the citizenry who believed it. Programming. So either they're talking about this evidence being found or obtained through their conversations, or they've been also talking about digital splicing and dicing of content to kind of develop a video or content of some kind of whacked thing. So there's probably a copycat out there trying to splice your videos together or whatever to make it sound like you've done something incriminating. Be aware of that. Let this be evidence for the record, and I'll see you on the next one, everybody. Bye.